Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
This is awesome!
Hello and welcome Cheap Shot Nation to another quick shot review. This one is about a film loosely based around a horror film with lots of cheap jump scares called Countdown. It was directed by Justin Deck, who was also the writer of this awful horror film. I'm not going to pull punches with this one. I'm usually quite upbeat, and I will still say if you want to go and see it, go and see it. But this film is absolutely terrible. It borrows from so many other better horror films and tries to bring them all together in sort of a mishmash of everything. It's got elements of The Ring in there. It's got because obviously it's a downloadable app rather than a tape that tells you when you're going to die. Although it's not a set time for everybody, there's different time limits. It's just terrible. Final Destination comes to mind, and the characters, unfortunately, the main characters are very, very forgettable. We've got Elizabeth Lale as Quinn Harris, the most unrelatable name for a character that I can possibly think of, who calls their daughter Quinn. Jordan Calloway as Matt Monroe, the love interest for Quinn, just randomly because they meet in a phone shop and they find out they're going to die at very similar times. And Talitha Elena Bateman as Jordan Harris, who is the younger sister of Quinn. It also features Peter Fasinelli as Dr. Sullivan, the man who they attempt to try and make us hate, and it kind of works because I don't relate to any of these characters and I really don't care if they die. But there you go. Like I say, I'm usually quite upbeat about the films I've gone to see, and this is probably the first stinker that I've seen. I know other people have different ideas of this film. I've seen mixed reviews from 2s to 10s. It's definitely not a 10. I'd probably go as high as a 4. It's a fascinating idea, and it has some religious background to it as well, which they explain really well, which brings me to the saving graces of this film. We have Tom Segura as Derek, the shop worker, the sarcastic shop worker. I really relate to this guy because I am in customer service, and there's quite a lot of things that he does that I would like to do on a regular basis. And of course we got PJ Byrne as Father Johnny, who is like a comic sort of cool dude, sort of father-like figure to the two main protagonists. The main antagonist is a demon, and they try and beat the demon, and you know, it's just a really. If I'd have paid money for this movie, I would have walked out halfway through and asked for my money back. It is that terrible. It's not the worst horror movie I've ever seen. Hatchet, anybody? But at least Hatchet had an idea, and it was not trying to be something dead original. Now, I've seen reviews on this from people who've been to see it that say, oh, it's an original concept. It's not. It's Final Destination done a lot worse on a 15 certificate, so you don't even get to see the kills. Now, when the countdown finishes, the demon comes in and scoops them up, and it's like, I'm not spoiling that because it's in the trailer. If you want to watch this film, watch the trailer. It is awful, such an awful film. Like I say, those two saving graces, the comic relief, and the ones I most relate to. So you got like a biblical fanboy who is like, you know, a bit like a Marvel fanboy or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, this is wicked, and obviously it's not, because they're going to die, but it makes it funny because he's like, this is awesome. And the shop guy, the mobile phone shop guy, is fantastic as well. Yeah, it's just not great, but it does say a lot about 2019. You download an app, there's terms and conditions. Who reads the terms and conditions? The only thing that I came away from with this film is always read the terms and conditions, or at least browse over them very basically. But yeah, I just didn't care for any of the characters, and the character development was non-existent. So I am going to give this a hatchet out of a Final Destination out of a Ringu as my rating for this film. None of my ratings make sense, much like this film. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that it was even made. But there you go. That is Countdown, a terrible horror film with lots of cheap jump scares that I was just really bored about, and it was predictable. It was predictable. I predicted everything that happened in this film, and that to me makes it a very bad film. It wasn't even enjoyable in the idea that the antagonist was a demon, because that's been done before as well, and yeah, it's just not good, man. You know, it was Insidious, that's the one. Yeah, with the sort of, and it looked like The Nun, which is another terrible film, but yeah, that's my review of Countdown. It's a load of babble, it's not very good, but as always, I would always encourage you to go and watch it if you fancy going to watch it, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, because yeah, I really didn't enjoy this film. But that is Countdown, and this has been Quickshot Reviews. You have been watching Cheap Shot Entertainment. You are the Cheap Shot Nation. Don't forget to click the like button if you like the video, hit the subscribe button if you want to know, well, subscribe, and the notification bell if you want to know when we upload new content to the channel. Twitter, Facebook and Instagram are our social medias handles, and don't forget the close to order site to pick up your t-shirts in time for Christmas. A nice little gift to you and to the channel to keep us going, doing all of this stuff. So yeah, really appreciate you watching. I've been your host Luke, you have been the Cheap Shot Nation, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.